Hey guys, welcome to another Hunter video. I am a Worgen Hunter on the public test realm, and today I am going to give you guys a guide on the Garrison, which is coming out with the expansion in Warlords of Draenor. And the Garrison, if you don't know, is just your personal little fortress which you could build and customize. However, it will take a long time as well as effort in order to build up your garrison. However, you are able to reap the rewards based on how you build it. So since this is a PTR, I could go in and talk to Garrison Ford, which is just a character that they put in the PTR so that I don't have to do the prerequisite quests as well as wait in order to build up my garrison. So once I talk to him, I could select to have him build my garrison as well as give me a few items and followers. So I will explain what each one of these things does a little later. However, I can just tell you right now that I could level up the followers with the bread that he gives me, and I could also speed up building time or completely finish any waiting time for buildings with the Ford stopwatch. So once you start off with your first garrison, which is a level 1 garrison, you will only have one small plot and one large plot. And these plots are in order for you to create or build certain buildings which benefit you in different ways. At level 2 of your garrison, you will have 2 small plots, 1 medium plot, and 1 large plot, as well as you will open up an herb garden, fishing shack, and lunar excavation site, which allow you to use them once you've completed their appropriate quests. And finally, at level 3 garrison, you will have 3 small plots, 2 medium, and 2 large plots. Now you need to choose what you want to build in these plots very carefully, because there are a lot of options for buildings for each one of these sizes. However, like I said, there's only 3, 2, and 2 which you can build for small, medium, large respectively. So let's talk about the buildings, and we'll start with the small plot buildings. There are 10 buildings for small plots in total, and even at a level 3 garrison, you only have 3 small plots, so you have to choose carefully. Now going through the buildings, there is alchemy, enchanting, engineering, geografting, inscription, tailoring, blacksmithing, leatherworking, and salvage and storage. The first 8 that I mentioned are just different types of professions, and the biggest question a lot of people are asking is whether I should choose my plots which are based on my current professions or professions that I don't have. Well, that is purely and completely up to you and all up to your playstyle. So what you could do is enhance your profession so that you can have 4 or actually 5 total professions instead of just your current 2, or enhance your current 2 professions so that they are better than your other 5 would be. So kind of like a jack of all trades but master of none, or master of your current 2 professions. Now if you choose buildings of your 2 professions, you will be able to get to a higher status in those professions quicker and easier. So the choice is up to you. And for the other 2 buildings which are not a part of your professions, those are the salvage and the storage buildings. The salvage buildings basically allow you to gather more items, or a salvage, actually the item is called salvage, after you complete missions. And this salvage item will give you random items after you complete missions. It's pretty simple, and I'll explain what missions are very soon. And so the last building is the storehouse, and at level 1 you get to access your personal bank, at level 2 you get to access your guild bank, at level 3 you get to access the void storage as well as transmogrification, as well as increase the total work orders of all your buildings by 2. And so with this, you could effectively not need almost ever to go into town, which is a giant lag fest. So with the profession buildings that I mentioned, once you build them, you could start work orders. And work orders are something that you can start and you will be able to complete one in about 4 hours. Once work order is complete, it'll create a crate around that area where the building is located, and you could get reagents or just rewards from that crate. Now you can start assigning followers to these buildings at level 2 and on, and at every level you get to have more work orders at one time. So at level 1 you can have 7, level 2 you can have 14, and level 3 you can have up to 21. And so with a follower that is attached to a building, the crates that you get with rewards will increase, sometimes even double, once you have a follower. So not all followers will be able to work in a building, only those that have the appropriate profession. So let's go on to the medium plot buildings, and we'll start with the barn. The barn allows you to capture animals in the description, which allow you to gain leather, fur, and meat. And at level 1, you could gain leather and fur, which is useful for leatherworking and tailoring if you have those professions, or if you have the small plot buildings which have those professions. At level 2, you are able to create more powerful foods based on the meats that you capture. And at level 3, you could salvage elite beasts so that you could use the reagents to create epic armors and weapons. The inn is my favorite building in the medium plots section. This place allows random travelers or followers to come, and you could either start a quest at level 1. A random visitor will come and offer you a dungeon quest, so extra quest every day. At level 2, you could you could recruit random followers each week, and at level 3, you are able to unlock treasure hunt missions, as well as you can select the traits of the follower that you recruit every week. So, which is nice because as far as I can see, followers are the key to building up your garrison or fort. The lumber mill is also pretty straightforward. You get to mark some trees to cut down for timber, and timber basically is created into garrison resources which you can use to build more stuff. And so this is a very good building. However, it all depends on whether you are willing to invest into something to build up your garrison further, or to use one of the other buildings which benefit you in other ways. Next is the Gladiator Sanctum, and this place basically gives you special skills which helps you out in PvP scenarios. So for one instance, at level 1 you get increased out of combat regeneration in Draenor zones. You are able to have safe fall and breathe underwater at level 2, and at level 3 you get to have all damage reduced by 50% while you have less than 35% health. And you also have access to the Battle Royale Arena event. Lastly, the trading post. It is a garrison center of commerce with the natives of Draenor, and this allows the trade of crafting reagents. You are able to access the auction house at level 2, and at level 3 you could gain reputation in Draenor at an increase of 20%, but this works for an account wide for all your characters, so it may be a good idea to invest in one of these buildings for another character, and then you can have the account wide 20% increase. So now let's move on to the large plot buildings. The first is the Dormant Bunker, and this will be the first large plot building that you will learn to be able to build. This is basically an armory storage which maintains your garrison's armaments, is what the description says. And at level 1, it doubles your chance of quest rewards to get an epic or rare bonus upgrade. At level 2, it allows for the collection of scraps from the orc clans of Draenor, which basically is used for transmogrification. And at level 3, you get 1 free Seals of Tempered Fate. so that you no longer need to get 3 per week. You can just get 2 because you get 1 for free. The next building is the Barracks, and the Barracks allows you to do many things. It's, I think, my favorite building of the large building plot. So at level 1 you get to unlock patrol missions, and they have a higher than normal experience reward for your followers. At level 2, followers with the Bodyguard trait, so when you talk to them and you say, I want you to accompany me, they can follow you to any Draenor zone, which is very helpful because an extra follower is an extra follower. And at level 3, you get to increase the follower limit by another 5. The Mage Tower is basically your own little personal teleportation device. At level 1, 2, and 3, you get to open Ogre Waygates, 1, 2, or 3 Ogre Waygates respectively per level. And these Waygates basically are just a fast way to teleport to different zones in all of Draenor. And there are 6 zones in total, and you could choose between 3 of them to teleport to quickly. The Gnomish Gearworks building allows you to create just random things, which most of them are very helpful on your quest in Warlords of Draenor. And so at level 1, you get a personal engineer that creates powerful inventions each day. And at level 1, you get certain things like the Sticky Grenade Launcher, which launches a timed explosion that deals damage, or the Pneumatic Power Gauntlet, which fires coils of chains at your target, inflicting physical damage and pulling them to you, and just other random inventions. At level 2, your engineer gains some more items that they can create. One of them is the Nuclear Target Painter, which causes a 500,000 fire damage to all enemies within 30 yards. Great for wiping out an AoE area, and also certain things like the Sentry Target Dispenser, which summons 3 sentries that protect you for 30 seconds. And at level 3, you get to create siege vehicles once per day, so you can drive it around Draenor and blow shit up. Now the Stables is the last building in our list of large plot buildings, and I think it's a very interesting building. I'm not sure whether I like it as much as some of the other buildings yet, but the benefits that you get for this are great. And at level 1, you enable the capture and training of special mounts in Draenor, so I think a set of 6 or 8 new mounts, which you wouldn't get otherwise. You, at level 2, get the ability to remain mounted when you interact with outdoor items in Draenor zones. So next time you have a chest to pick up, you no longer need to dismount. And at level 3, you get to increase mount speed by another 20%, which is extremely helpful for cutting down travel time. Now on to the other buildings that you get automatically at level 2. So the first is the Fishing Hut, and that basically just allows you to fish in Draenor in different areas. At level 1, it just starts to let you fish, and at level 3, you are able to catch unique fish in Draenor. The farm allows the area to grow siege, which can be harvested for herbalism. And at level 3, you also get food buffs, and it increases the work orders that you could have at one time. The Pet Menagerie just lets you fight elite pets for pet battle, and at level 3 reduces the cooldown of your Revive Battle Pet ability by 50%. And lastly, the Mine, which you can create work orders to create whatever Draenor stones or mining nodes, which are used for a whole bunch of shit. Now let's go on to missions in your garrison. Now once you start a mission, you'll see many different things on the screen. Well, the first thing you need to know is what type of mission it is, and what are the chances of success based on the followers that you use for a mission. Now, the enemies that you face have a certain type of threat, and there are a certain number of followers which can counter that threat, which will increase the success chance of that mission. There are also certain missions which allow for more than one follower, and when they're grouped together, let's say a gnome and a follower that works well with gnomes, then you get another boost in the success of that mission. Now, all of that combined, there are some followers which have a shortened mission time and just other various benefits to using certain followers for certain missions. And every mission has a listed follower increased experience gain as well as rewards for you. Sometimes it may be gold, sometimes vanity items, or sometimes gear. So it's always worth it to do missions. And it also lists in the mission box how long a mission takes before it's completed. Now, if you wanted to see what a bodyguard follower looks like, here is one. Now, this big mofo blocks everything when you're using him as a follower or bodyguard, so do not use him. There are many other better options out there just because they're better to interact with. Now, another random thing that you can find in your garrison are monuments. When you see these monument placeholders, you could scroll through and place a monument at these areas, and they're just purely for decoration, but once you scroll through them, you will be able to see how you can get these monuments, usually by achievements. And so that's all I have so far on my guide to garrisons. So I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So thank you very much for watching, and take care. Till next time.